Hey up! It's the old Yorkshire geek here, back again with some more geeky news. Before I start, got an announcement. There won't be a show on Thursday. Not that anybody cares, but I'm busy, so there won't be a show on Thursday. And there probably won't be one on Friday either, because Friday is Picard Review Day, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do one, I don't know. Depends what mood I'm in. Right, let's crack on. Got some news to get through. I'll bung myself in the corner. There we go. And I'll fire up the window. Oh, aye, first up, yes, I forgot about this. This appeared. A new trailer appeared for Top Gun Maverick, and apparently it's out on May the 25th. I won't show the trailer because it's Paramount. I think it's Paramount. And they're a bit funny. They're a bit funny with their copyright strike, so we won't bother. So there's a poster anyway. Tom Cruise, sure he's getting younger. He's doing something, he's doing some sort of witchcraft to keep himself young. Or maybe Scientology's true. Anyway, or he's got a good way of life. Anyway, there he is in front of his plane. I don't know what they're flying these days. I don't know anything about planes. So were the F-15s or F-14s in the first one? I don't know. The F-18s in this one, or the new ones, I've no idea. But it looks good from the trailer. So, we'll see on May the 25th if it's any good. But it looks good from the trailer. And, everybody likes Tom Cruise up to a point, don't they? Apart from in The Mummy, which were crap. Right. Pluto TV is adding a 24/7 Stargate Channel. This is a weird one. I'm guessing this is some sort of deal, or some sort of licensing deal that went down, that were all signed and stuff before Amazon bought MGM, because Pluto's owned by, well, I don't know if it's owned by, but CBS have got a big stake in Pluto, which is why they put Star Trek Discovery on there. So I don't know why Stargate would end up on there, to be honest. And I don't know many people who watch Pluto TV, to be honest. I've got it on my PlayStation 4, and I've put it on a couple of times, and yeah, whatever, it's okay, I suppose. But it's just like, it's TV, isn't it? It's not like it's a streaming service where you can watch something whenever you want. You've got to tune in at a certain time, haven't you, for stuff. So it's just like another TV service, but it's called Pluto TV, I suppose, so there you go. Right then, anyway, with a new dedicated channel, the science fiction franchise will continuously stream movies and TV series 24 hours a day. There's a brand new way to watch Stargate starting this Friday. Pluto TV is giving Stargate its own 24/7 dedicated channel beginning on April 1st, 2022. Maybe it's a joke. The Stargate Channel will stream the original Stargate feature film, the 2 SG-1 movies, plus selected seasons from the 3 live-action television shows. Why selected? Pardon me, it's going to say down here, I think. Pluto TV is an internet television service, available in 25 countries, including the US, Canada, the UK, and throughout Europe and Latin America. Because shows here run continuously on the hour rather than on demand, the service harkens back to the old channel surfing days. The service is entirely ad-supported, so expect commercials, meaning Pluto is available for free in select countries and without the need to create and manage an account before accessing the full array of classic shows and movies. Right, starting April 1st, 2022, the Stargate Channel will be continuously streaming Stargate the Movie, Stargate SG-1 Seasons 1 to 5, Stargate Atlantis Seasons 1 to 2, Stargate Universe Seasons 1 to 2, which is all we got of that, Stargate The Ark of Truth, and Stargate Continuum. Now, I'm wondering, what this 1 to 5 of SG-1 and 1 to 2 of Atlantis, is this to do with Showtime, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, because it started off being Showtime, didn't it? Then it moved over to Sci-Fi Channel or whatever. I wonder if that's the reason why they can only show selected seasons. I don't know, but by our count, that's 196 hours of Stargate at launch, covering more than half of the 374-hour franchise. To watch it, all you'll need to load up on caffeine and snacks and binge for a little over 8 days straight. Is that yeah, there's an image of what it might look like. Pluto TV hasn't said what order they'll be running things in, along with channels dedicated to a genre like science fiction or an era like 80s Rewind. The Stargate Channel joins other franchise-specific channels running 24/7 on Pluto TV, including Star Trek, classic Doctor Who, CSI Beverly Hills 90210, and more. I'm sure there'll be a CSI Beverly Hills at some point. Pluto TV launched in 2013 and was acquired by Viacom, there we go, CBS. In 2019, the internet television service boasts 50 million global viewers and more than 150,000 hours of content. Ad-supported, I don't think that's... I don't know anybody who watches Pluto TV. Ad-supported episodes stream continuously throughout the day, but I don't know a lot of people. I do this show by myself because I don't know anybody. Ad-supported episodes stream continuously throughout the day, so check the Pluto schedule to see when a particular episode will be coming up next. Look for the Pluto TV app for your smart TV or mobile device via Verizon, FiOS, Cox on Xbox and PlayStation consoles, or find the service online for free at pluto.tv. And that's it. So there we go. So if you want to watch Stargate for note, get on Pluto TV. And who doesn't want to watch Stargate for note? Well, not me, because I pay for my MGM channel through Amazon, and you can see all the Stargate series and stuff on there. For note, and jolly good it is. I'll pay that little bit extra for it. Yeah. But it's a weird one. Why? I'm guessing the licensing deal went through before Amazon bought out MGM, and they've got to, honour it, I suppose. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know how long it'll last for. I suspect it won't last too long. Right, Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 5, Images. Oh, by the way, this is from Bleeding Cool. The last one from Gate World. As usual, all the links are in the description box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell like Will Smith hits Chris Rock. Who hasn't said that today? Everybody's said it. And I'm another one that said it. And all that jazz. So, there. Anyway, where was I? Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 5, Images. Q takes a special interest in Dr. Sung. With the next chapter of Paramount Plus's second season of its Sir Patrick Stewart starring Star Trek Picard set to hit streaming screens later this week. Thursday for America, Friday for us Brits. We have a look at the preview images and overview for Fly Me to the Moon, which will be of another special interest to fans of Star Trek The Next Generation. In front of the camera, Brent Spiner's Dr. Adam Sung captures Q's, John Delancey's, interest in a big way. Meanwhile, we have Jonathan Frakes returning to helm another episode within the Star Trek universe. But as you're about to see, those are far from the only major things happening this week. And starting at the 27-minute 54-second mark of last week's edition of the Will Wheaton hosted The Ready Room. Can't do with Will Wheaton. You can check out a special sneak preview for Season 2, Episode 5, Fly Me to the Moon, along with a great interview with director Leah Thompson, who I do believe is in this, because there. Can you see it? Yeah. Looks like Leah Thompson when we see her front. Anyways, this panel here, and there's Adam Sung there, obviously. This Sung family's growing, innit? They're coming across them, in every iteration of Star Trek now. It must be like some sort of nexus in time where there's just a Sung has something to do with the events. And another thing, I've always wondered, why did they call him Sung? And they called him Noonien Sung. in obviously when season 1 of Next Generation. And you think, why did they pick that name? Because it's very similar to Khan, Nooney, and Singh, isn't it? And you think, well, why did they pick that name that's so similar? Bizarre. I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure some Trekkie knows it, or Trekkie, or whatever you want to be called. Right, the front face of the panel. Don't know who these two are, but that's definitely Leah Thompson, who's directed the last couple of episodes, which weren't very good, and played Lorraine McFly in Back to the Future, and was Howard the Duck's girlfriend. I'm sure she's done other stuff as well. So there's some sort of panel. There's names there, isn't there? Can we zoom in? If I click, it looks like clickable, doesn't it? Will it make it bigger? Shall we see what happens? Right, let's see what happens. Yes, it does. Vasily Rozhenko. Oh, for crying out loud. So is this going to be a relative of the Rozhenkos, obviously, who adopted Worf? I bet it is. They can't help themselves, can they? And Dr. Alex Greer. I'm sure that name's got relevance as well. I'm sure that name will probably have relevance. Right. Go back. There we go. Rozhenko. What's happening here now? Go away. Right. Oh, she stood up. She's obviously saying stern words to Adam Sung. Don't know what it's all about. But there he is. Obviously, later, thinking about what might have happened. They've told him no to something a bit. He said, I've got this planned for such and such. And she said, no, bugger off. And then he's thinking, oh, I'll have to get my evil scheme to work somehow. And then Q will appear to him. There's Picard and Raffi in somewhere blue. Are they in Chateau Picard? It looks like it. So they must have got the transporters to beam them back. And there's the lovely... we don't know her name, do we? She's Laris, the Romulan Laris, but obviously that's not her, is it? Because she's not Romulan. Look at the lugs. But she's obviously got some sort of hologram going there. Who's this? Who's that sneaking up? Is this the caretaker? Because Picard said they were caretakers, weren't they? Obviously not doing a very good job with this place. Sneaking up on Agnes while she's asleep. And now she's awake, saying, oh, crikey, thingamajigs and stuff. And he's probably wondering why there's a big, massive gouge in the vineyard. The ship were cloaked. But there'd still be a big gouge there, wouldn't there? And there's Raffi and Seven with their Blackberry. Are they still going, Blackberry? I don't know. They were all the rage, weren't they, a few years ago? About 10 years ago, wasn't it? Seven and Raffi again, and here's Rios is on that bus. They're taking him back across the border. And obviously Raffi and Seven have got to find a way to hijack it. Unbelievable. And there's Adam Sung again. Is he doing some sort of presentation? It looks like it, doesn't it? Don't know what that is. Can't tell what that is. It's a picture, but I don't know what it's of. See if we can see any closer. No, don't know. I don't know what that is. Any ideas? Answers on the postcard to that old Yorkshire Geek, that old Yorkshire Geek Towers, Yorkshire, UK. And here's Picard and not Laris, somewhere with a boat, a model boat. Whatever. Must be her place. Must be, because it looks nice. Well, it looks nicer than Chateau Picard. And then she's doing a hologram. Don't know who that is. Let's have a look. Can we see who that is? Oh, it's, is it? It's, I forgot her name. She was in Walking Dead and Silent Hill. Is it her? Because I've heard she's going to be in it. Or I've seen her name mentioned in recent days. And I'm sure she's going to be in this. Pardon me. Oh, I can't remember her name. Anyway, it's her, isn't it? With blonde hair. Oh, what they call her. I can never remember names when I start this. It'll come back to me. It'll come back. And there we are, back in that place again with the boat. And the projector, for some reason. He's got his arms folded. I say, oh, but it's all well and good. And she's saying, yeah, but it's all well and good, sir. She's Irish. Apologise to Irish people. There we go. Some sort of astronaut. Oh, this is that woman, isn't it, that were reading the book that queued went and nothing happened. And it turns out, because if you looked on IMDb, I didn't, but I just seen other people say, she is a Picard. She's one of Picard's ancestors. So there you go. So this to do with the Europa project. I don't know, we'll see. And there she is in her astronaut togs in some sort of ship. And here we go. Got her helmet down, ready to go. And there's the thing for the... obviously, follow the link, you can watch it yourself. If I play it now, I'll just get a copyright strike and it'll get blocked and all that stuff, because, they don't believe in free publicity. Excuse me. Have a drink. I'm on coffee today. Just got a fancied one, and it's gone cold. Hey, yeah, and that's just telling us all we know already. So there we go. So and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'll be doing my review on Friday as usual. Last 2 episodes weren't very good. The last episode was the second worst episode I've ever seen. It was absolutely diabolical. So let's see if it improves. I mean, we all like Jonathan Frakes, even though he never turns up for conventions, or very rarely. But he has directed some Discovery stinkers. So, what can I say? Anyway, we'll see what happens. Hey, sticking with Star Trek. Star Trek Strange New Worlds star Anson Mount teasers really special episode 4. Pardon me. What kind of big things are in store for Captain Pike and the Enterprise crew in Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode 4? And there they are. Looks just like the original series, doesn't it? Tell you, they're going to redo it. They're going to this new Kirk. They're going to redo the original series and make it into Kurtzman Trek, and try and forget about Shatner and co. Not forget about them, but you know what I mean. Make them obsolete. That's what they're going to do. The upcoming Star Trek ongoing Strange New Worlds is all about making the familiar seem new and interesting. See what I mean? The series stars Anson Mount as Captain Christopher Pike, the predecessor to the USS Enterprise's most famous skipper, James T. Kirk. He'll be joined by other updates to well-known Trek characters, including Rebecca Romaine as First Officer Una Chin Riley. Oh, she's got a full name now. I did read it before, but I'd forgot. A.K.A. Number 1, and Ethan Peck as Science Officer Spock. I like science. With that in mind, a recent conversation between Mount and his podcast co-host Brannon Edgens, I hope I pronounced that right, is much more than the usual small talk. Broadcast via Instagram, Mount and Edgens chatted about the next season of their podcast The Well, a series of interviews about the nature of creativity. As the two hosts vamped through technical difficulties, Edgens asked his friend about recent happenings with the show. It's really good, Mount responded, sharing that he and his wife had watched the first 3 episodes and found it as exciting as he had hoped. Mount goes on to indicate bits of news sure to reassure Trek fans, such as the strong friendships formed among the cast members and the smooth production within COVID protocols. The actor noted that he and other members were doing pickups, reshoots of extra material to smooth out episodes during editing. But the most tantalising reveal occurred when Mount talked about the episode he had not yet watched. He excitedly shared with Edgens that he and his wife planned to watch episode 4 later that evening, the one which the creators are most proud. I've been hearing amazing things from the network, fellow directors, Mount enthused. Everyone has been saying episode 4 is really special. Well, you should have some idea of bleeding in it, innit? Mount wouldn't say more about that episode, however some hints may have slipped through the rest of his conversation with Edgens. In particular, Mount mentioned some Star Trek related interviews he did for The Well, including one with Brent Spiner. Here we go, there's going to be another Soong in the 23rd century. There is, because they're going to have him, he's going to be omnipresent in Star Trek. Spiner will be a perfect guest star for Strange New Worlds. After all, the actor reprised his role as Data for the first season of Star Trek Picard, although it's a bit odd, and he's playing Adam Soong in Season 2. Yeah, and he played another Soong, didn't he? Whose name I can't remember, towards the end of Picard Season 1. And obviously he's played Auric Soong in Enterprise, and he played Noonien Soong in Next Generation as well, didn't he? While Picard and Law, obviously, and B4. While Picard takes place in the 25th century, Strange New Worlds is a prequel to the original series, set in the mid-23rd century, but that time disparity certainly doesn't rule out a Spiner appearance. Thanks to interference by Q, John Delancey, Picard Season 2 sends Jean-Luc, Patrick Stewart, and his team across time. It stands to reason that Data or Adam Soong would also be thrown into the time stream, maybe dropping by the early Enterprise crew. No, it'll just be another Soong. They'll stick another name on. It'll be Bill Soong or something. Likewise, Spiner could always play an ancestor, to Data's inventor, Dr. Noonien Soong, as he did in the Star Trek Enterprise episode Borderland. And of course, if Data's head can be in a cave with 19th century artifacts, as it was in the Next Generation episode Time's Arrow, then the lovable android can certainly appear with Captain Pike. No, it'll just be another Soong. It'll be, like I say, Bill Soong or Fred Soong or whatever. Or it might have some daft name. But he will say it's good because he's in it, and they always do, don't they? But I'm not building up my hopes. I hope it's good, but I'm not building up my hopes. I'm not at all. I mean, you could say, oh, well, it's got Akiva Goldsman, behind it. But he directed that last episode of Star Trek Picard, Season 1, which was the worst episode of Star Trek I've ever seen in my life. Right, sticking with Star Trek still, Star Trek Discovery introduces the weirdest Enterprise in franchise history. Star Trek Discovery Adventures in the 32nd Century is about to introduce a freaky new version of the USS Enterprise, transforming the iconic ship. A new Star Trek comic will introduce the weirdest version of the Starship Enterprise to the franchise. In a recently revealed variant cover for Star Trek Discovery Adventures in the 32nd Century, fans see Lieutenant Commander Kayla Detmer riding a tiny version of the iconic USS Enterprise. And even more surprising, this variant cover is not a goofy one-off, but apparently relevant to the plot. The issue is written by Mike Johnson and Kirsten Bayer and drawn by, is it Angel Hernandez or Angel Hernandez? I don't know. Since acquiring the rights to publish Star Trek comic books, IDW Publishing has created a number of exciting titles based on the venerable franchise. The most recent is a 4-issue miniseries Star Trek Discovery Adventures in the 32nd Century, focusing on individual members of Discovery's crew as they attempt to navigate the distant 32nd century. God, they like saying that, don't they? Previous issues have focused on Grudge, Book's Cat, and Linus, Discovery's science officer. Now Lieutenant Commander Kayla Detmer gets the solo treatment in issue 3, and a special variant cover shows Detmer riding a tiny Enterprise, the weirdest version of the ship yet. Needless to say, this is the first I've ever heard of this, and I've not read them. So there you go. In a recent tweet, do we find anything out about them then? Grudge, do we find out why she's called a queen and stuff? Bet we don't. Linus, has he got control of his personal transporter? God, I hate that. How does it know where to send you? You do that, and you transport. How does it know? Does it read your mind? Stupid. Oh. Another thing, Picard, them transporter archers, I hate them as well. People just walk through them and transport. How do they know where they're going? In a recent tweet, artist Aaron Harvey unveiled his variant cover. On an alien world, a tentacled monster arises from the ground, and far above him, Detmer can be seen riding a tiny version of the Enterprise, complete with flames shooting out of the back. Harvey prefaced the image by saying that the tiny Enterprise will actually make sense once fans read the story. One astute fan noticed the flames emanating from the nacelles, and Harvey commented it was a call-out to the Gold Key Star Trek comics from the 60s and 70s, which were notorious for their lack of faithfulness to the source material. And here's the... there we go. There we go. Look at that. Have you noticed that that nacelle looks... it's very... no, it's a bit... It's a chunky Enterprise, isn't it? I thought the nacelle were going to be like the Kelvin Enterprise. I suppose it could be a bit. Can we make it bigger? No, it's just taking us to tweet. Oh, never mind. But yeah, there you go. And it makes sense, does it? Let's see, I've got a little windscreen there. Look. Pardon me. I'll not be reading it. Is it some sort of dream sequence? Why would she be dreaming about the Enterprise, though? What's the Enterprise got to do with... has she served on the Enterprise, maybe? Under Pike or Robert April? Dunno. Anyway, the cover to the issue seems like a cute visual at first, but according to Harvey, it actually factors into the story. Shrinking technology has been glimpsed only once in the Star Trek franchise, in the episode One Little Ship in Star Trek Deep Space Nine's 6th season. Yeah, but... yeah. It wasn't a great episode, was it? This leads to the question, how did that Enterprise get so tiny? Was it built that way? Although shrinking tech has been rare in the Star Trek universe, Discovery now operates in the 32nd century, and as seen in that show, the tech is far beyond anything glimpsed in the 22nd to 24th centuries. Yeah, but it still took the Discovery to save the universe, didn't it? 900-year-old ship. It's like a longboat, a Viking longboat, sailing in and saving, into the Battle of Midway or something, and turning the tide. Don't get me started. Pigging it. Has the Federation perfected the technology at long last, or is this some kind of dream or fantasy sequence? Yeah, probably. Lieutenant Commander Detmer served under Enterprise Captain Christopher Pike in Discovery's 2nd season. Oh, yeah, well, they all did, didn't they? Yeah, because he took command of the Discovery, didn't he? I thought I was going to say she served on the Enterprise. Making this cover a nice shout-out to that as well. Star Trek fans have grown accustomed to seeing weird and amazing aliens and ships each week, but this new cover still finds a freaky new way to present the Enterprise, inviting fans to ask questions that will only be answered when the issue releases in print and digital March 4th. Oh. Well, we're on March, bloody... Yeah, it says when they published it last day, bloody is March the... It's 28th, 29th today, isn't it now? God, blimey, unbelievable. Does it mean April 4th? I don't know. I'm not checking anyway. It'll be crap. I'm not going to buy it either. Because, it might be alright, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not. Right. Mandalorian. Why hasn't that come on? Right, let's check next one. Oh my. Breaking news. Ezra Miller, Justice League star, arrested after allegedly yelling obscenities in a Hawaii bar. Because he's a freak. And I'm not saying that because, he says he's non-binary, doesn't he? He's a they, them. I'm not saying he's a freak because of that. He's a freak because of his actions. He's mental. The actor, best known for playing The Flash, their role in Fantastic Beasts, was charged with disorderly conduct and harassment, police say. Ezra Miller has been arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment after an alleged incident at a Hawaii bar on Sunday evening. Police say the 29-year-old actor, best known for playing DC superhero The Flash and their recurring role in the Harry Potter spin-off franchise Fantastic Beasts, was arrested in, is that Hilo, don't know, on Monday morning. In a public statement, Hawaii police said South Hilo officers had responded to reports of a disorderly bar patron on Sunday just before midnight. Police alleged that Miller had become agitated while other patrons sang karaoke and began yelling obscenities because he's mental. I mean, don't forget, this is the fella that grabbed that poor young woman by the throat. They were messing. She thought he was play acting and play fighting, and he grabbed her by the throat and threw her to the ground, didn't he? And all his mates had dived in and tried to calm him down. He's crackers. He's puddled, as they say around here. Anyway, police alleged the actor then grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman singing karaoke and later lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts. The bar owner asked Miller to calm down several times to no avail. Miller featured briefly in the Academy Awards on Sunday with a pivotal scene of The Flash in Zack Snyder's Justice League, winning the Most Cheer-Worthy Moment category. A new award introduced by the Academy that is voted for by audiences at home. Miller was, I think, and that's a load of rubbish, isn't it, really? I mean, that Zack Snyder's Justice League wins the Most Cheer-Worthy Moment, and also, I think, his Army of the Dead film won the fan favourite of 2021 or 2020 or whatever for the last year. Fan favourite film? I don't think so. I don't think there's been some shenanigans there. Miller was released on bail on Monday, police said. Miller's representative has not yet responded to requests for comment. Miller is set to appear in the next Fantastic Beasts film, The Secrets of Dumbledore, in April. The Flash, which will see their super-fast superhero take the leading role and recently finished production, has been delayed by Warner Brothers until 2023. Yeah, he's puddled, his lad. He's absolutely balmy. I don't mean as in, quite warm. Balmy weather. Balmy with an R. He's mental, and he needs help. He does. He needs help. He needs somebody to look after him, and he needs somebody to, stop him acting like a knob. Because he does. He acts like a knob. Hey, what's that message there? I'm not updating my printer software. I'll do it another time. Hey, then let's try. Hey, it's come on again. Oh, it's just a picture. Oh, right, there we go. Star Wars actor just took home Oscar gold, and that means he's won an Oscar. Not didn't take home a chap called Oscar Gold, because I'm sure there's somebody called Oscar Gold out there somewhere. Right, in terms of sci-fi, Dune's 6 Oscar wins last night was by far the biggest success. Behind that, however, was Coda, the first ever Sundance film and streaming film to win Best Picture. Oh, pardon me. Following a young woman named Ruby Lock and Key's Emilia Jones, who is able to hear while the rest of her family is not, it's a heartwarming, important film that also won Best Adapted Screenplay for its writer-director... Oh, crack, I was going to have an argument. For its writer-director, Sian Heder. And Best Supporting Actor for star Troy Kotsur. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I hope I have. Who plays Ruby's father, Frank. What you may not know about Kotsur is that he played a huge role in the first season of The Mandalorian. In the first season's 5th episode, The Gunslinger, Mando is crossing the deserts of Tatooine and happens on a group of Tuskens. However, instead of fighting them, which is what usually happens, Mando communicates with them through a unique form of sign language. Kotsur not only plays the Tusken who communicates with Mando, he created the sign language for the show, which was then again used on the Book of Boba Fett. The role made him the first deaf actor to appear in Star Wars. Now, we'll admit these facts aren't exactly news. Ever since that Mandalorian episode was out, people have been talking about Kotsur. I never first heard of him. Then, when Coda was first released, it became a bigger deal, but now that he's officially an Oscar winner for Best Supporting Actor, congratulations, by the way. We thought it was fun to revisit and maybe enlighten a few people who didn't know about the Star Wars connection. I did research on the culture and environment of Tuskens, Kotsur told the Daily Moth via Star Wars News Net, is it? I don't know. Back in Star Wars Newsnet. Back in 2020 about his process. I researched on the desert. on the desert called Sand People. What? That is what Luke Skywalker calls them, Sand People. Anyway, my goal was to avoid ASL, American Sign Language. I made sure it became Tuscan Sign Language, based on their culture and environment. It's a powerful moment and one of the first instances where we see the Tuscans not as the evil creatures we first met in A New Hope, and that trajectory carried over into the Book of Boba Fett. Before you know, all of those characters got unceremoniously massacred by the Pikes. Yes, they did. Nevertheless, the link between this excellent Oscar-winning movie and our favourite galaxy far, far away. It should be a drinking game, shouldn't there? When an article's talking about Star Wars, every time they say galaxy far, far away, ding, not one back. I'd be on the floor after one, to be honest. It's just lovely. Definitely check out Coda on Apple TV Plus, and then pop over to Disney Plus and watch The Gunslinger from The Mandalorian Season 1. There we go. So, yes, very good. Congratulations to Troy Kotzer. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I do apologise. But you're doing Devil on, so yeah, rock. Or is it? No, that's I Love You, innit? I think that's I Love You, innit? In American Sign Language, not Devil Horns. There he is with his statuette, and there he is as a sand person, Tuscan Raider. I'm sure I'm surprised that thought of another name for them, what they call the selves. You'd have thought they'd have had a name. We are the Blodjoli or whatever, Giving them ideas. Right. Sciencey news. Right. Astronaut helmet straight out of sci-fi could decipher our brains in microgravity. To settle Mars, we'll need to know how space transforms the human brain. A neuroscience startup is on it, beginning with the crew of the historic Axiom 1 mission. Have a drink. Cold coffee's grand, isn't it? Be sarcastic. And there it is. Ax-1 astronauts will have some sci-fi looking equipment on board. Very soon, 4 brave humans will ascend into space. For 10 days, they'll call the International Space Station home as part of the Axiom 1 mission, a trailblazing endeavour to bring the first ever all-private crew onto the space-borne laboratory. Or as I normally say, laboratory. On liftoff day, now scheduled for April 3rd, we'll witness NASA's Kennedy Space Center fervently guiding the team through a historic countdown, but behind the scenes, an unsung quartet of biological control centers will be on high alert too. The astronauts' brains will be firing away, keeping them cogent for a strenuous expedition ahead. Then once they exit Earth's atmosphere, those crucial organs will have to continue toiling away in microgravity, which is known to alter brain tissue. Yeah. Oh, crikey. Israeli neuroscience startup Brain.Space is determined to capture all the awesome brainy details of that radical shift. It won't work on me because I haven't got a brain. I've just got a solid bone head. I've got like a walnut in the middle of my head. My mates always take it mickey out of me. I've got a solid bone, and because I've got a massive head. And it's just a little walnut in the middle there with my brain rattling about inside. Probably. Every organ is being measured in space. Body mass, temperature, heart rates. Everything is being measured except for this organ. Levy, I don't know how you pronounce it. Co-founder and CEO of Brain.Space told me over Zoom. We're going to see if we can identify whether the brain adapts to a new homeostasis in space. And I'd be like, yeah, homeostasis, yeah. Anyway, next question. Brain.Space will send a special helmet into orbit with flight members Larry Connor. That's a good, strong American name, that, isn't it? Michael Lopez, Allegria, Mark Pathy, and Ethan Stibb. I don't know. On Ax-1's SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule. Excuse me. It's built to mine brain activity in near real time. It's also undeniably reminiscent of an ancient combat armour, except with a ton of electrical sensors evenly coating the inside. Here's what it'll look like on. Yeah, very good. Very good. The Ax-1 crew... Oh, this don't go on too long. Yeah, we'll see how we go on there. I'm getting bored. I get bored these days. I'm sure I show my brain's packing in. Anyway, the X1 crew will perform cognitive tests while while wearing the helmet before, during, and after liftoff. Once complete, their brain... Will they be allowed to wear it during liftoff? I thought they had to wear the space suits, the helmets down in case there are any emergencies. So they can't wear that other helmet underneath the space suit, can they? Unless they've got something, that they can have inside, that's not that helmet. Anyway, once complete, their brain data will be available for any and all researchers to study. That means experts across the globe can harness this experimental evidence and begin decoding how the human mind transforms when confronted by the perils of microgravity. At the moment, we don't quite know the answer to that. There are two enormous mysteries for humankind, Levy said. One is space and one is the mind. Even though scientists have so far compiled an abundance of data about how microgravity affects the human body, most information is confined to facets like muscle mass weakening or bone density loss. We don't have enough data about the human brain, and that might pose a problem for our wide-eyed dreams of delving farther into the universe. If we want to safely set up moon bases, inhabit Mars settlements, or oh, crack, I'm doing coughing, aren't I? Or even resource hunt on asteroids, we need to know how our minds are going to stack up against harsh space environments. And there's a picture of a moon base that would, be underground. It's to protect it from the harsh solar radiation and micrometeorites. A 2021 review published in the journal Nature, for instance, says that even though we know space-based fluid dynamic adjustments and weightlessness affect our body's central nervous system or brain processing centre, the effects of long-duration spaceflight on the central nervous system and the resulting impact to crew health and operational performance remain largely unknown. What we know from shreds of evidence. Oh, I do apologise. I've got a tickly throat today. I don't know why. I've not been anywhere to catch a cold. Anyway, what we know from shreds of evidence, Levy explained, is MRI scans of astronauts after long-term missions over months indicated anatomical changes. In reality, however, there's a complete lack of knowledge about what is happening to the brain during an actual space mission. Over the years, scientists have learned a bit about how our brains change with microgravity, although to find detailed information, they've usually had to innovate with their experiments. Some have simulated weightlessness on the ground to see how volunteers' brains are altered, and others have performed microgravity experiments on rats. But neither of these angles offer evidence of the real thing. There's a gap in the research, and one that might have persisted, per Levy, because currently brain scanning equipment isn't really portable enough or simple to handle. This is what a standard EEG might look like at a clinic. Might. Have we nearly done? Oh, I'm not reading all that. Yeah, anyway, so they're going to wear it and learn what happens to your brain in space. If you want to read the rest of it, follow the link. Follow the link. They're going to stick that on when they're in space, and it's going to send data back to to this Levy chap and his team at Brain.Space. Very interesting. Right, next up. This is really interesting for me anyway. Wow! Astrophotographer spots spacewalking astronauts from the ground. Photo. We're going to look at photo in a minute. Here we go. Here's a spacewalk as you've probably never seen one before. Last Wednesday, March 23rd, NASA astronaut Raja Chari and the European Space Agency's Matthias Maurer spent nearly 7 hours outside the International Space Station performing a variety of maintenance work. Amazingly, astrophotographer Sebastian Volkmer managed to capture a snapshot of the spacewalk action from the ground and from Maurer's hometown of Sankt Wendel, Germany no less. I was going to say yesterday, and done a tweet there. Yesterday, I witnessed the spacewalk shortly after sunset. Here comes a first photo. Hashtag ESA astronaut Matthias Maurer was just climbing at this moment. The rod-shaped structure, Canadarm2, is the robot arm. Greetings from Matthias Maurer's hometown. It was very exciting. Maurer is actually visible in the International Space Station image, as Volkmer notes in the annotated image he posted on Twitter, along with the above description, and so is Charry, Volkmer added in a Sunday tweet, which he published after taking a bit more time to analyse the photo with the help of photographer Phil Smith. I'll just read this and then we'll look at the picture. Sorry. I feel like I've just made a once-in-a-lifetime image, Volkmer wrote at spaceweather.com, which featured the photo in its online gallery. It's probably the first ground-based picture showing two spacewalkers on the ISS at the same time. This obviously, unless he's in on it, it's going to prove, to people, oh no, the space program's fake because the Earth's flat. Volkmer used a Celestron 11-inch Edge HD telescope. I've got a Celestron. It's not an 11-inch though. It's just a cheapo one. On a GM2000 HPS mount and an AS1290 planetary camera to get the shot. He told Space.com via email. You can find more of his work at his Instagram page and learn more about him here. So there we go. Let's have a look at the picture. Look at that. Look at that, there we go. ISS astronauts perform final spacewalk, captured from Matthias Maurer's hometown through a telescope. And there we go, new camera installed there. Canadarm 3 is there. It says Matthias Maurer is that him there or there? I don't know. Can we make it bigger? If I do the old, will this work? Where you going? Trying to make you bigger. There we go. That's made that bigger, hasn't it? So, where is he then? So is that dot there? Is that him? Is that the astronaut there? Or is that dot there him? I don't know. I'm guessing that dot there is the astronaut. So you got to remember, it's not that big, is it? It's only a few 100 feet across, isn't it? So an astronaut, it wouldn't be super tiny, would it? So I'm guessing that dot there is the astronaut. And that's the Canadarm, and they said that's a new camera or something. So there you go. So that's taken from the ground. Amazing, eh? I mean, I've seen the International Space Station go over many times. I've even taken pictures of it, but not obviously through a telescope, just with a normal camera. So you just get a streak of light as it goes across with a long exposure. But this was taken from the ground through a telescope. But he had to have a good tracking thing for it because it goes quite quickly, so it'd have to be moving to get a good not blurry image. And there you go. So that's the International Space Station from the ground. Amazing. It is to me anyway, because I like that sort of stuff. Right, so that's your lot. I'll leave that there. That's your lot. As I said, what day is it today? It's Tuesday, isn't it? Oh, so there'll be a show tomorrow, as usual, but there won't be one on Thursday, because I'm busy, got guests. So there might be one on Friday. There'll be my Picard review on Friday. I might do a show on Friday night. Not that it matters, because, who watches it apart from me? Not many people. But my Picard reviews get some views, which is good. Right, anyway, so we'll leave it there, and we'll leave that space station there. Look at it, it's amazing. I really like that picture. It's wowed me. So wherever you are in the world or on the International Space Station, be nice to each other. Help each other whenever you can, obviously. And until tomorrow, I'll see thee. I'm going to looking up at that. Am I doing it right? Looking up at that picture. Amazing. Amazing.